Hey, what's going on? Super happy to have you guys in today. I'm Paul with Karis Penco, if you don't know. And today we're going to cover something that honestly is a topic we should have put out a video or some type of more interactive and explanatory and content than we had in the past because we've had this product for quite some time, and I think a lot of people don't know that we sell this, and they just don't know kind of the ins and out of the product itself. And what I'm talking about today, if you've read the title already, we're talking about the retractable mechanical pencils. And one of the reasons that we didn't do a video is because we at the time we released these didn't have the video room set up really. And as you can kind of see, we've switched to a different content way of releasing content in terms of videos, just due to the fact that we currently don't have anybody that is well versed in editing actual video. And because we wanted to start doing live videos, we've kind of moved to recording our normal scripted videos in the form of live videos and then posting them on the website, which is not not the way we want to do things. It's just what we are able to do right now with our capabilities. So we apologize for that, but let's go ahead and jump in and let me just talk about the retractable mechanical pencil. And instead of watching me talk about that, I'm just gonna switch over and you can see a view of kind of the one of the views we got of a breakdown, but I'll quickly kind of go through the history a little bit behind mechanical pencil and where we started with it and where we ended up. If you've been around for a long time, that you know that we prototyped a really early run of the retractable all the way back in 2017, at the end of the year in 2017 during the holidays. They were just a strict swap in terms of we modified some existing retract bodies and the standard retract click mechanisms that we get from Schmidt, the SKM 88s. We modified some of those and then machined two Delrin parts that were inserts and also a metal spacer, and then sourced a heavy spring for that release. It was a lot of work to get it done, and they weren't very precise. I think we modified about 300. I think it was like 100 matte olive, 150 matte black, and then like 50 matte red ones. We sold those. We sold the olive and the black on the website, and I think the red ones went just to the Pen Club members that year. One of the colors went only to the Pen Club. That was, I think, the first year we did the Pen Club. And so, and while a lot of people liked them, there was a lot of problems with them because there were so many different moving parts, so many different parts that we had to make for them. They weren't very precise. They definitely did not, when it was all said and done, when we really started using them around the shop and kind of got some feedback from them, they definitely did not meet our standards in terms of what we would want to do a full production release. Like, those were workable prototypes, but they were definitely not optimal in terms of how they functioned. And so that entire project was put on hold and shelved, basically, because we just didn't, we needed to figure out how to make them. And basically what has allowed us to make them, one of the main things has allowed us to make them, is that we now have multiple different Swiss lathes that allow us to do some really precise internal threading way down on the tips that the pencil mechanism actually threads into. And it would have taken us a long time to accomplish that. It would have made the cost in terms of machining a lot more than they are right now. And we wanted to be around the same price as the retract pencil or pen with the retractable pencil. And so basically in 2019, a couple years later, at the end of the year in 2019, I started bringing that back up again with Bill and basically being like, hey, can we, bring this back on and figure out a way to do this? And we started planning for that in December 2019 and early 2020. And then it was one of the things that actually made the schedule during the pandemic. And we kind of worked with stuff, prototype different things, and got product in, and we had a prototype run of that pen in I think basically at the end of the year 2020. We had another like 700 of the first batch, between 500 and 700, in a couple different colors that we released. Actually, I think 4 different colors that we released. Again, some to the Pen Club, and some on the website that we released. And people really responded well. And we didn't make any major changes from that prototype version to what we have now. And so and that basically brings us to what we released this last year in 2021, the full production run of, and a bunch of special release versions of the Retract. And for the purpose of this video, I'm going to talk about the retractable, the standard retractable, the ringed retractable that we basically have in 3 colors: black, red, and blue. And so the picture that you're seeing before you right now, from bottom to top, is a standard retract pen in the 2-tone version. The original release of the Retract looked just like that, where it's got the anodized lower in a color and then the silver upper, kind of nod and homage to the Parker Jotters. Directly above that, we have the all black Retract, which has been out of stock for quite some time, but I have a full batch of them going on the website later on this week. And then above that is the black ringed retractable, and then above that is basically an exploded view, not exploded, but a broken down version of the red ringed retractable. And I'm going to walk through the parts and basically tell you kind of what we've done to these. The easiest way to do it is basically tell you that there's only one part that can be swapped between these pens, one major component. I'm not counting the clips and the screws. One major component that can be swapped between the pen and the pencil, the Retract and the retractable, and that's the upper barrel. So the upper barrel is the same on all of these. So I could functionally just thread any of these upper barrels in to the pencil, and they would work just like they're meant to work that way, because we make all of those. They're all the same thing. We didn't need to modify anything. And that's largely because we basically manufactured this entire piece. We manufactured all of the different pieces on this, except for the spring. There's an internal spring in that we don't make. We sourced that, but we machined the two aluminum pieces and made them look as they're actually, though these look different, slightly different. They are actually the exact same dimensions. Dimensionally, they're very close. And we basically went off of, we designed our click mechanism based off of Schmidt's schematics that they gave us. And so the difference between these is that we manufactured, this does not have a stop in it, whereas the pen mechanism has a stop so that the refill can retract and can move in and out and function like a retractable pen. So because we had to do something different, where the button actuation that we made for the pencil just goes down and then it automatically moves back up, we basically fashioned it where when we build this is basically several different parts that we put together with a snap ring, and internally there's a small spring that allows it to be pushed down and then come back up into the up position and function like a mechanical pencil would. And then the barrels are different. So the bottom barrels, obviously, besides the rings internally, the retractable has threads, and it's machined differently to accept the DSM 2007, which is Schmidt's metal, their metal mechanical pencil insert, and so that's available in a 0.5 millimeter or a 0.7 millimeter insert, and we carry both of those. And so basically, we wanted there to be a little bit of difference between the retractable and the retract, which is why we went with the solid color scheme for the standard versions. But we wanted them to kind of be somewhat of the same. And then on the retractable, we also only use aluminum, our stamped aluminum clips instead of the stainless steel clips, because we wanted the buttons, because those are anodized aluminum in silver, we wanted to have basically exact, close to matching, because the click buttons and our clips match because they're both stainless steel on the pens. So we wanted there to be somewhat of a similar. We wanted them to look the same in terms of all of the components on the pen, and having a stainless steel clip with an anodized aluminum button, it looks a little bit funky. So there are some differences, but it's a very close. If you were to purchase the retract in all black and the black ringed retractable, you would have a functional pen and pencil set, and that's kind of what we wanted it. People that talk to us about the mechanical pencils, basically were very adamant about having some type of added grip on there in terms of the lower barrel, and that's why we don't have a smooth lower barrel. We have the rings on these, and then some of them are in frag versions, and then we also have some of the slims have their own as well, their own variations in terms of the grip profile. But we wanted to have some form of grip added to that. It was feedback. It was kind of one of those things that was basically, we were informed that it was kind of a, hey, this is a must-have for a mechanical pencil. While you can have a pen that doesn't have that necessarily, because many pens on the market don't necessarily have some type of specific grip, the pencil really they're like all of the pencils, like you kind of have to have that. That's kind of standard. And so went ahead and did the rings on these. And so there you have and it's easy to put these together as well. So it's really just in terms of threading them together. That just threads in really easily. And then as well, the inserts just thread right in. There you have it. It's threaded in, and they just thread right together. If you can see that, my hand's kind of moving around and doing all that stuff. So it functions really well in terms of it's very, very easy. If you want to replace the lead, a whole insert does not have to be replaced. You can just unscrew the top barrel from the bottom barrel. There's a little plastic black plug on the insert. You take the plug off, put the refill in, put the plug back on, thread the top and bottom barrel back together. Really simple mechanics. Doesn't, super easy to basically swap those in and out and replace lead and stuff like that. And then we didn't design this with an onboard eraser, simply because that also was kind of one of those things where people were like, that's a useless eraser. It's really not something that we think is a benefit. You have it, but when you go to use it, you can never really use it. It doesn't function very well. And so That's why we basically provide a Pentel high polymer um, eraser, really high quality eraser. And that was from feedback from pencil users as well, that basically were like, hey, if you're going to have an eraser, have a really nice eraser. And that was why we landed on the Pentel high polymer erasers. And it's basically whichever ones we can source are the ones that we provide. So we started with the smaller ones, which are like, I think, 1.5 inches by 3/4 of an inch in terms of the size. And I think right now we have the 2.5 by inch erasers, the larger style. And that's largely because it's what we can source in bulk. Sometimes it's different than other times. So what you're seeing right now is the blue version with the anodized aluminum clip and knob. So those are the three different. Now you've kind of seen the three different standard versions of our production retractable mechanical pencil. And so that kind of brings you to where we are with this. We release it. It is it's $75, same price as our Retract V2 pens. We will frequently do sets of different ones. I know we've done multiple different sets, and we did a matte black set where it was a matte black retract and a matte black retractable. We've done a tumbled retract and a tumbled retractable. We'll likely do a black, the two black that I just showed you, the all black retract and the black ring retractable set. And then in the future, we'll probably do some other retractable and retract sets as well. We've also done a few EDK and retractable sets. While they don't match exactly, they're still pretty close. We had some people ask us if we would do that. And so we did release a couple of those, I think all and just in the matte black color. But that's kind of brings you up to where we're at right now. We have quite a few of retractables available on the site. Some of those links will be in the description of this video, so you can click the links and kind of look through what we have right now. And there's also a 10% coupon code for a retractable in the link that you can, or in the description. You can copy and paste that and get 10% off your retractable today. So hopefully, if you've wondered, because I actually had this question, somebody asked, like, I'm looking for a nice a nice mechanical pencil that's made out of aluminum and, it will fit the other styles of pens. And it was in a different forum, and a bunch of people mentioned stuff, and they're like, well, I have a lot of Karas pens, and that person didn't even realize that we sold mechanical pencils now. So we have sold mechanical pencils for a little over a year now. And we have quite a few of them on the website. We have all the ones that you've seen today. We have several different versions of the matte black in different sizes, two slims and a standard sized frag. And then we have several different special release versions as well that are on the website. So again, you can find the links to those in the description along with your 10% coupon code. And if you have any questions about the retractable or any of our other releases, you can go ahead and put those in the comments below, or you can send us an email at our inbox at info@karascustoms.com, or comment on any of our other social media platforms. And we'll get back to you as soon as we see that, or as soon as we've figured out how to respond to you, because sometimes we get questions that we don't have the answer to right away. But other than that, I'm really happy to release an official video that kind of breaks down the retractable mechanical pencil. Hopefully this gives you some clarity about the product and gives you some ideas about what it is and how it functions. And the work that we put into it, it's one of our most in-depth and time-consuming products. And because we machine so many of the parts, much like the Decograph, we machine all the major components on those two parts. So kind of a labor of love. We put a lot of work into it. We're really happy with the product that we're producing. So we hope that you're going to be happy with it as well. That is all I have today. Thank you so much for being here. And just, as you go about your day, if you have any questions, like I said, you can reach out to us. Otherwise, be excellent to one another. Appreciate it. Bye.